Oh, there he is. Roberto.
Hello, gorgeous George.
How are you, sir?
Great. How's it going?
Good, really good. We had some technical difficulties earlier. I feel bad. It's this internet in LA is overloaded right now. But
How mysterious. Yes, I saw you froze face while Anthony seemingly had zero issues at all.
yes, I looked like I was sucking a lemon, and he had all the poise. We're just coming to this part in the movie, Robert. You're now walking around the table talking about solving time travel.
Yes.
And our young madam is going to show up here in a second.
Oh, good.
Do you want to talk a little bit? I know you've talked about it before, but you want to talk a little bit about I Love You 3000, which is coming up in a minute?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I love how this scene, it was just something that was on the call sheet until he figures out time travel. And at that point in the shoot, we were all just like, yeah, that's easy. Something will come up on the screen. I'll do a thing or whatever. But I thought that was a lovely scene. And without that scene, the Love You 3000 one kind of wouldn't be as poignant.
Right. And this is an improv, I Love You 3000, right? Or something you recommended for the script. It might have been on one of our Sunday sessions.
Yeah, I just know it was something that I think my now 8-year-old used to say to me, and a lot of kids say it. You know, it's before they can quantify love, they just think of the biggest number they know, and it's usually like 2,000 or 3,000 and whatever. And it turned out to be really significant. But all the stuff in this movie was about us really starting to bring our own experience these many years into these characters and the epic sojourn.
Well, we always talk about that, having emotional ownership over what you're working on. The more emotion you bring to it, then the more it resonates with you as a performer or an artist or creative working on it. You do better work because you're connected to it.
Probably, yeah. And
Know?
look, after 20 plus movies, we, the audience, our cast and crew, the whole planet was kind of in this resonance with each other, and it was all leading up to this finale, you know. Right. So, I mean, I remember it so fondly. We were definitely, as you were saying, looking to stick the landing, and this was just one of those days that felt like just another day in the shoot. But we know when there's important days, you're like, all right, this one kind of has to work, or Act 3 isn't as meaningful, you know.
Right. The focus that would come to those days would be significant, right? Like we spent a lot of time talking about your death scene, and that was something that maybe we talked about for well over a year or two.
Yeah.
Just kept refining until it got simpler and simpler.
Well, you know me too. There's nothing I like more than chasing you down on a weekend and making you go through pointless draft after draft for something that winds up being 3 words. But it is that relentless pursuit. And I feel like at this point, and you could say the same, to me, it all was really starting with Civil War, when we were kind of taking chances within the genre. And then with Infinity War and Endgame, it was kind of like it was this 1, 2, 3 combo, and we were all in a real groove. And I think it was such a collaborative. It wasn't exhausting. It should have been exhausting, and it wasn't.
Well, that's a great point, because this group, the chemistry between this group was incredible, and it's rare. And I talk about this a lot. It's rare to be able to work on a project in our business where you're with people for a decade, or the better part of a decade.
Yeah.
And it creates relationships that you don't traditionally get.
Yes, it creates a kind of relationship where I give myself a little haircut, because I know you asked if I would do this today. And I was looking all over the house for where to go. I'm in the bathroom, and it's balancing on a toilet seat right now, because I was looking for an appropriate frame to match your lovely gray background.
My background, I didn't put a ton of thought into this one. I was upstairs. and
It's
then
like you
thrown.
said, though. Yeah, it was that desire. We all wanted to get in where we fit in. We all wanted to make you proud. We all wanted Kevin to know that we understood the gravity of what we were doing. And even though we're effing around half the time, I'd say 49% of the time, this was a real quality 51%.
Yeah, we would certainly lock in, and there were many conversations had when, like you said, when you would lock in. There were lunches, there were Sundays. You know, it's a 24/7 commitment
Yeah.
for a year straight
Yeah.
uh, to pull it off because the clock is ticking constantly.
Oh, come
And
on, dude. And look, at this point in the shoot, as is well documented, you and your dear brother were, I mean, it was like doing a push-up contest after a marathon.
yeah,
And there's something about that when you lead from the front the way you two did. You're kind of like, well, then I got to be working weekends and I got to put my best foot forward too. So again, I commend you. It's why we stayed so close to this day. It's why I love your family. It's why I'm talking to you whether we got business to do or not, because we forged that bond.
well, same, sir. Right,
Thanks.
and that's that. Is that a good spot to end it?
Whatever you want. Yeah, I mean,
How long do you want to hang out for? I'll keep you here forever.
until someone needs to use this toilet.
All right, good. I've got you. That was
Yeah,
a
well,
very
let's say
touching.
5 more minutes. You know me. I like to offer the world and then start creating boundaries.
And then dial it back. That was a very touching speech, by the way, and it is true. It's like we all know you have one shot at this, and I think we all know how fortunate we were to be working on something that had this kind of attention and and could pull audiences the way that these projects did. And I know I sent you some of the clips early on of audiences reacting
Oh,
to the moments in the
yes.
movie, and it's just so rare to be part of something like that, where a theater is almost behaving like a rock concert.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. And look, I mean, speaking of cultural stuff, not to drop names, but I was talking to Paul Thomas Anderson the other day, and I think he said that he was going back and YouTubing early screening audience reactions to this just because he wanted to remind himself of the power of cinema. And this is arguably, one of our greatest American filmmakers ever. So it was one of those things that continues to really, it transcends taste and just becomes this thing that we all know is super significant. And nowadays, I mean, this uniting against a common challenge thing, I mean, come on, it's become ridiculously poignant.
well, it's without question. I think that's the most significant aspect of it is it's these stories of their ability to unite people globally, which is
Yeah.
there's a rare amount of things that can do that that aren't tragic.
Yeah. Where are we at in the movie now? What scene is it?
We are at. This is you here. I'm going to show you.
Oh.
Can you see it?
Oh,
See what happened?
man. Oh, man.
Yeah. This was another one of those. I mean, there were a lot of days where we had to lock in on this one, right?
Oh, yeah. To me, it was all about when you'd set up the shot and I said, no, I got to pass him and then back up. And you're like, all right, reframe. Yeah, you're right. We can't just do another Tony Stark pull up. But again, I hand this one to Chris Evans. I hand it to Chris. It was all about him forgiving me for not forgiving him so we can start getting ready to, who knows, maybe throw in the towel for whatever we got to do. And it wasn't just the idea of burying the hatchet. It was burying the hatchet and taking up the cross together. So it was a complex scene. Of course, it was Atlanta and it was hot and all that. But I remember some of the hardest stuff. I don't know. You made it easy.
Is resentment is corrosive? Is that a Robert?
I'm sure it's some mental health phrase that's been tossed at me here and there. Yeah.
Well, for me, it became every time I heard it, I was like, "Well, that's so emblematic of the relationship." So,
Yeah.
that's the the value of a Downey improv.
Yes.
Is
My
that
eyesight at middle age now, officially, even mid 50s, is failing, but I can see all these little dots and hearts and stuff and love
yes,
and all that
floating
coming up.
around? Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, we were so fortunate to be these big hearted apex predators with this franchise. And it's one of those things you can't express enough gratitude for it.
No, you can't. And it is, and it's great to have everyone on here watching and participating. And
Yeah.
can you believe it's been a year?
It feels like a lot. Well, yeah, a lot has happened. All time is very strange right now. There's like
Yeah.
cycles within cycles, but it's been fantastic. All the allotted introspection, and I won't say why, but I had an occasion to be interfacing with the other five of the original six Avengers just a few days ago, and after we all kind of hung up off whatever our Zoom like call was, I just got this just wave of all that. And yeah, and then it did feel like about a year ago, but it was years leading up to it. It felt like it was a year to do it and finish it and get it out. And I'm sure for you, it feels like a year ago you worked for 1,000 years straight.
It did. Although I would say that it feels like you go to summer camp and then they yank it away from you. Because
Yeah,
we do have a lot of fun working on these things together. Everybody has a lot of fun. You get real close to each other, and then you miss it. Um,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
maybe we'll all have to do it again someday.
Well, the people will they will move us towards what they want.
Yeah. By the way, we just got a hello from Turkmenistan, which I think is really,
Oh wow!
yes.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, they are rolling in, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. All very sweet.
cool. Who else? You got other guests? You got other surprise guests dropping in?
You're it. I could never. No one can follow you, sir. So
Oh
uh,
wow!
we we're just doing the first hour of this, so we're about 9 minutes away from the first hour. So
Wow!
you've admirably carried a good 10-minute chunk of this live event.
All right. Well, love everyone who is joining us for this. Love you, Russos, madly, and obviously love this movie like no other.
Well, we love you too, sir.
All
All
right.
right. You be safe and healthy.
Thanks, Joe.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye. All right. I'm going to pull my brother back here so that